what the future holds. We will see what the future holds. Try to make it smell nice in here. We'll see how many people attend. We'll see how many people attend this live. Right now it is 10:16. And I am having difficulty. Let me see how. Let's see. Here we go. We'll see what that setting brings us. Hopefully the chat won't have problems. Because I did a full moon live and there was a lot. Now Josh, behave yourself. Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. It's kind of late. Yeah, it's 10:17. Be polite, just like it says here. Guard your privacy. Follow community guidelines. And McDonald's Wi-Fi, I think, no, my phone, I don't think it's a 5G phone. I wish it was, but due to financial constraints, I have to work with what I have, and I am working on fundraising, and once I get the fundraising, hello there, Braley, I think that's the right way to say it, Braley, and I am writing down a harasser that I have. Hi Eddie, I hope you're doing okay and your mother is recovering. Sending your family much love. Thank you for that. She is doing fine. She went to physical therapy today and she did well. And we're managing her blood pressure. This is one time that she went in for physical therapy and she did not have to go to the emergency room, so that's good. I'm happy. I was happy to. What's your favorite Pokemon? I think I said Charmander. Charmander was the little dragon. You love this guy. Well, thank you. I'm trying to take care of somebody who is spreading a lot of horrible rumors and horrible comments. All right, your mom is doing well. Yes, she is. Did you get your hair cut? I've been trying. I've been doing homemade haircuts lately, and it's been working. I mean, I try to keep this from getting too long, and then the sides. The only thing I can't seem to conquer is the back of my head. The back of my head, I have to have my mom get out the clippers, which is kind of easy because it's just that, you know, I got to not let a mullet happen. Some people like mullets. Some people look good with mullets. But me, I got to look more sane, I guess. I look more sane without a mullet. I remember in the 90s there was, the Lord will see his desires upon your enemies. Seek him first. Yes. That's what it's very important to do that. Sometimes we do. When did the lies start? When did the lies start? About what? About Emma's being bugged too. It's sad. This person went on Emma's website and started putting comments on her website, or not website, her channel. So I'm going to finish writing this. So ER and 20. And so I had to report somebody because of strange and bizarre activity. You are from Brazil. My brother went to Brazil. I think it was last year. He went with his company. His company sent him to Brazil, and so now I can kind of focus on more lives. Lately, it's just been family matters, and I'm trying to keep family matters because now we're down to one car. Well, actually, my mom's using a rental. Her rental has allowed us to go grocery shopping today. It has a lot of space in the back, so when we go to the grocery store, we can buy enough groceries and fit it all in the back. And what's good about it is she doesn't owe anything from the accident. She's actually getting some money back from the accident, so that's going to help us not go into the hole. And what the church is going to do is help her buy a new car. And I thought that was pretty cool. One of the pastors of our church came by to see her in the hospital, and they said, an anonymous caller said that he or she was going to help her get a new car. Hello from India. Wow, India and Brazil. So we got some people from all over the world. All around the world. Join in. Start a love train. People all over the world. Start a love train. I guess, so yes, that's our update. So our update will probably get me some new tires because I need new tires. And I haven't had the money to buy new tires. Somebody bought me one new tire, but I still have 3 more that hopefully won't have a blowout. Because I don't like blowouts. My mom and I had a blowout. Her right front tire blew out while we were going down the freeway. That's a loud and scary sound. Because we thought we hit something, and I guess it turned out it was just a blowout. Her poor car went through a lot. It's had to have so many parts replaced. Well, it's good to hear from Charlotte. It's good to hear from all my other people. Looks like Frank is a new one. IDK is a new one. Montana Black looks like a new one. And so we're about 9 minutes in. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do about this person that showed up and is saying all kinds of horrible things. And it is Ed Shart. Ed Shart or Ed's Heart. It's Ed's Heart. And I guess Ed Shart is kind of funny, depending on the circumstances. You don't want to have a Shart when you're sitting at a stoplight, or when you're in the swimming pool. You don't want to have a Shart. Or when you're introducing yourself to your date. Circumstantially funny, yeah. I never want to Shart, because there's a mess to clean up. I'm the monkey in charge of the bananas. That's right. I'm the monkey in charge of the bananas. Depending on what kind of monkey, you know, like chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are quite aggressive. I didn't know swans were aggressive either. Swans are a lot bigger than you think. When this person start causing trouble? Just a couple of days ago. I think it was about a week. See, Emma, as I think she had posted a video of my live, and I was responding to her and responding to some of her comments, and this person is like I told Emma's mother is at the hospital and all that. I don't know if she's still in the hospital, but I just checking on her and see how she is. And he's our badass. What is it? Chew catch pins. What is a cap? I have dyslexia, so I have trouble sometimes. So it's capunctions. What is a capunchin? Or capunchin? I read it a low grade level, I guess. So I'm being called every name. I'm being threatened. Emma's been a friend of the show for a while, and so has Skylar, Emma, Skylar, and there was a third person. But so anyway, it's the old, you know, accusations, and it's just not polite. Some of the accusations, and it's like people who are friends of the show, you know, people who attend the lives. No, it's the same one. It's the one where the orb appears. What it is she was watching my live, and she made a snippet of my live. So she was watching my live, and she made like a highlight. She highlighted part of it, and so she commented, and then I returned a comment, or, you know, responded, because I guess that's what fans do, you know. I've had other people make highlights of my lives. I think there's two others besides hers, and it's like that's what fans do. That's what subscribers do sometimes. I know. She posted it. And then I'm being called all kinds of gross names, you know, just because, and being accused of luring children, you know, like on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, you know, the child catcher or something like that. It's only this one person, though. It is called a jaw harp. It's called by many names, but I could just call it a jaw harp. G'day, Alex. Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. Trolls. That's right. And the person who's doing this only has one video. Much love. I've been doing pretty good, just keeping up with my mom's appointments and keeping up with my sanity. And I think I'm functionally insane. Can you report him for slander? I have. I've already done that. Yeah. I don't want to say any names because I've learned my lessons about saying names. That's what I'm saying. You know, I think some of us are just able to function better. We're all mad. We're all insane. It's just some have a higher functioning ability. You know, like they call people a functioning alcoholic. I think we're functionally insane. That is a good question. Is anyone truly sane? We all do things that are crazy from time to time. Maybe this stuff will trigger an investigation. The mental stability of this person who is accusing me falsely. I mean, those are some serious accusations, and it is defamation of character. Yeah, not so sane moments. Well, again, I until it's handled. I guess it will be handled pretty soon because I've reported the person, and I reported them. You know how you click on report, and you know he's saying some pretty threatening things. So it's just a matter of YouTube looking into it and looking into the interactions. Because accusing somebody of luring children, that's a pretty serious accusation. I know, these are, I don't know, I don't know why we can't just be YouTubers, you know? We can't just behave and talk nice to each other. So we're just going to have to see over time what happens, you know, because it's just wrong to accuse somebody of anything, especially when there's not a lot to really prove their theory or their accusation. But then again, there are mentally unstable people out there. You did the right by reporting. Yeah, I mean, it's especially when they're saying scary things. Saying like someone will come for you and all that stuff. And it's like, well, why would you say that? Why would you say threatening things? I mean, if you suspect somebody's up to no good, report it to the police. Don't threaten them. Report it to anybody who is in charge, I guess, authorities. Report it to the authorities. It is public on her page to see. Yeah, I know. And so are the comments. I mean, the comments are just, anybody can read them. So when somebody starts posting comments, you know, it's kind of showing your intentions. Like on Facebook, people put all kinds of things on Facebook that are, you know, people should be looking at and monitoring. Sometimes I don't want to have to be worried about my safety. I had a stalker once, but because it was a 19-year-old chick doing the cops laughed. I know. Remember Dominique Dunn? There was an actress who was in Poltergeist, and her name was Dominique Dunn. She played the older sister in the movie Poltergeist, the first one. And somebody came to her house and strangled her to death. And it's like people need to take stalkers a lot more seriously because they are mentally unstable most of the time. I hear about Taylor Swift, you know, she's had some stalkers. A lot of celebrities have had stalkers. You don't even have to be a celebrity. You can have a stalker. just because you're cute or just because you're interesting. The only thing is anti-male is feminism is law enforcement. Yeah, especially when people accuse somebody of a serious crime and it's not necessarily true. This girl slashed my tires and all. It was insane, but I got out of that. Yes, thank God. Yeah, thank you, God. Sometimes that's all we can rely on is God's protection, God's help, and you know, some people call it luck, but sometimes it's just divine intervention. That's what I think we need. We sometimes experience divine intervention, and because it's not our time to go yet, you know, and hopefully we don't get maimed or wounded. Yeah, it's a good moral to watch out who falls in love with you. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me, Papa Paparazzi. That song is very true. I'm your greatest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Some of those songs that we hear, they're based on uh, real facts. I mean, true facts. Reality is stranger than fiction. So anyway, maybe it's too late for some people to be here. But I guess I'm turning this into a hobby. I was kind of wanting to make this a career, but it's becoming a hobby. I need to because my websites aren't doing very well. They're not doing well at all. Like Kingdom of Pets and all those other websites I have. I need some people to come to those websites. That's right, Paparazzi. So I guess what I'll be doing is telethons, maybe. You know, I can sing happy birthday to people who donate and just get donations going. Because this channel's or this this channel is not monetized yet. Yeah, immortal. Now you remember. The Greeks had ambrosia. Ambrosia is what the gods and goddesses drank to keep themselves immortal. I'd like to have a swig of ambrosia. Well, I guess if we keep fighting, we'll have a good channel. You know, we'll have a channel people can come to when on the holidays even. Maybe I'll do a Christmas special. Yep, that song was everywhere at one point. So I guess being calm, cool, and collected, watching your back. I'm surprised we haven't grown eyes in the back of our heads. Because the way the world is, I'm surprised we haven't evolved. You know, at least intellectually, it seems like history does just repeat itself over and over again. People forget how horrible wars are. They forget about how horrible wars are. Good eye from Brazil. We have we have a few people. We had another person from Brazil. It must be I must be up at the right time zone. It's cool how Google can tell you what what time zone people are in and what time it is in that time zone. Sometimes I do that. Like what time is it in Ireland, what time is it in the UK? That way I can kind of have an idea of when to start a live. Because I know in Australia it's the next day. Because right now it's already Saturday in Australia. But it's probably really early in the morning. So sometimes it's good to know that. Because like when TV, they just did like Mountain Time, Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Time, Pacific Standard Time. And that's just in the U.S. Now, now they're able to broadcast all over the world. Like when it's New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, we have the ball dropping, I guess, in every state, every country. You know, Happy New Year. I was watching live today, and they were all shouting at each other over who God is, right? It was crazy. It called Sarah Ministry. So it's called just shouting. I know religion and politics seem to be very touchy subjects. Everyone has very deep roots in their religion and in their politics. And it's scary. It's scary how people are willing to kill for their politics. That's why wars get started, you know. Somebody thinks that, like that song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Everybody wants to rule the world. That song came out when I was in high school. I keep thinking of the Breakfast Club. That was the Breakfast Club and Goonies and Gremlins and Back to the Future. A lot of movies came out that were, but now everything goes on DVD. After it's in theaters, just wait a little while and it's on VHS. No, DVD. It used to be VHS. I've stopped collecting. I used to collect DVDs all the time. Whenever a movie came out that I liked, I would go and buy the DVD copy. Sometimes you could order ahead, you know. You can place your order and then they call you when it's ready. Because I couldn't wait, you know, couldn't wait to have the DVD hit the shelves. Back then it was like $19 for a DVD. That was the going rate, like $19.99 or something like that. The going rate for a new release. And then they would drop in price after a while. I'd always wait until they drop in. Sometimes I couldn't wait, so I paid the $19.99. But then later on I'd find it for like $9. Or the Walmart's really good for that. When you go to Walmart, they have these huge bins where you can just dig through. Just keep digging until you find the movie you want. Sometimes they're like 2 for $5 or 2 for $10. Sometimes you can buy box sets. DVDs are pretty convenient. You don't have to worry about them because the VHSs, they would wear out after a while. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been seeing like one guy walked in front of his 2-year-old son naked, and he reported it to the police, and the police said it's okay as long as they're not pleasuring themselves. It's like, that blew my mind. It's okay to walk naked in front of everybody as long as you're not doing anything sexual. I've heard a lot of reports of that. I guess they don't care anymore. It used to be, man, if you did anything like that, I know it's sick. What's this world coming to? I mean, people used to behave like adults. People used to behave like grown-ups in front of children. Now it's topsy-turvy. Anything goes. Every day is a winding road. You get a little bit closer to feeling fine. It's weird. It's like standards have dropped. They're not really teaching us. The kids or in schools they're not really teaching anything that's going to help them. I guess they just want a bunch of coal miners. You know, they want a bunch of. You look like our God because we worship cow as God. I am from India. I've heard of that. Cows are sacred in India. They say that's why child marriage is legal in some countries. I know. It's like, it depends on what country you're in. Some laws are really strict and some laws are very lenient. What's nice about living in Georgia is you can be a knife collector. You can be a knife collector in Georgia. You don't have to. There's restrictions aren't that stringent, I guess. You can have switchblades, butterfly knives, but in California, you can go to jail just for having a butterfly knife. I guess you can have it in your house, but you can't carry it with you. Daggers and things like that. I just went to a convenience store and bought a switchblade, you know, here in Georgia. Also, conceal carry is okay. You don't have to have a license. It used to be you had to have a license to conceal carry a firearm. I guess there's a lot of changes in different states. I think in California, the laws are changing there, is the knife laws. But man, it seems like they should have checkpoints. You know, like before you, the security has been tightened up around hospitals. It used to be we could just walk right into a hospital and visit my mom, but now they take a picture of you. They take your driver's license and they run it through a scanner, you know, one of those readers, and then they take a picture of you and they give you a sticker with your face on it, and you put it on your shirt so you can walk into the emergency room to check up on your mother, which I think is it's smart because then you're preventing felons and crazy people from getting in to bother the patients. I guess that's happened a lot because I just noticed that recently, last month. I think it was last month, the beginning of this month or last month. My mother went in for physical therapy and she had blood pressure issues, so they had to rush her to the emergency room. We went to visit her. When I went to visit her just to drop off her hearing aid charger and all that, they took a picture of me and said, now you can go visit your mom. So I guess it's good to have security because that's when you're most vulnerable, when you're laying there with an IV in your arm or when you're getting your blood pressure checked every so often and your temperature. They check your temperature, your pulse, and your blood pressure every few hours, I guess. I was put on blood watch when I was in the hospital, so it's like every few hours they'd come in and take more blood because I had a liver issue. Issues with the liver, and once you're balanced, they stop taking blood. But that's not always. That's what I would rather not. I always thought later in life I'd be going on vacations, you know, going to fun places. Lately, it's just been hospitals. either visiting a hospital or being in the hospital, which is kind of crazy. Life never turns out the way you think it would. Because I look at life as a simple thing, you know. Life should be a simple thing, especially when you're getting older. Life should be even more simple, but it seems like there's a lot more complications the older you get. Seems like my mom and I are all we have. You know, we're sticking together, making sure we get through whatever we get through. Be nice to if she didn't have an accident, but then again, the road she was on, life isn't always fair, no, or reasonable. I mean, I would settle for reasonable, you know, just a reasonable life. Get up and eat your breakfast, go out onto the highways, you know, and not have accidents. There's so much to distract us now. Our cell phones, all the switches we have on the dashboard. There's so much going on. And also, what didn't help is the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And she was headed east in the morning, which obstructed her visibility, or not obstructed, it really cut down her visibility because she was heading east as the sun was rising and she couldn't see out of her windshield. That's what caused her to collide with the car in front of her. And not only did she hit the car in front of her, that car hit another car, which sounds like me when I was I was headed to work really early in the morning before the sun came up, and I was approaching an intersection, and my windshield wiper, I had to turn on the windshield wiper to spray. You know how it sprays the soap onto the windshield and wipes? That cut down my visibility, and I ran a red light. And it couldn't have just been running a red light. I had to T-bone somebody, which caused that car to hit another car. So it's kind of like, I guess it was my mom's turn. But it's like, my God, we're just by yourself in our car, and it's so many horrible things happen when you're in a car. If you get into an accident, sometimes they have to pry you out of the car. Yeah. And you never think you're going to have an accident. You're paying attention and everything, and then something strange happens to your windshield where you can't see out of it, and then you misjudge how far. I always leave a lot of space in front of me now. I leave like at least 4 car lengths, or, you know, because especially when the weather is not favorable, when you're driving down the road going 55 miles an hour and it's raining. Some people drive even crazier in the rain, which shouldn't be happening. It's all fun and games until you're hitting somebody or somebody's hitting you. I have a track record. It's always been my fault. Whenever I've been in an accident, it's always... I sometimes think it's crazy that God sent his son to be killed for our sins. Sometimes I think, could he done it another way? I think what parent would kill their own child? It is interesting, the concepts that come up with theology, because every culture has a different take on creation, you know, like what the Native Americans say about creation, and what the Hindus or Hindu faith, where creation, you know, how everything started. Everyone has a different take on how things came to be. And I don't think anybody really honestly knows. People write down things, and then thousands of years, people read it, and sometimes they're only just reading parts of what was written down, parts of what they allow you to read. It's like these, like I hear about the Nagabani Library and all of these books that have been burned over the years, like, and also libraries that have been destroyed. It's like we don't really know. I mean, if you put anybody anywhere to just survive, and then they learn how to write and read, and then they try to document what what happens, and then it's all interpretation. Like you have Greek, Hebrew, Latin, and Sumerian, Babylonian, and it's like, does anybody really, like, I wouldn't know exactly what a Babylonian text says unless I studied it to my the best of my knowledge and ability. And then there is um, oral history. You know, some people are chosen to pass on oral history because they didn't have writing back then, or they didn't have hieroglyphics or symbols. Because a lot of written language is just a lot of symbols, a lot of their alphabet, like the Greek alphabet, the Chinese alphabet, the Japanese alphabet. They're all characters, and each of those characters represent something. Very true. And it's to control the masses. It seems like it's more getting the masses to all be on the same page and and just lobotomize the rest of them or heavily sedate the rest of them. That's what I think is happening with the drug culture. Why did create sinful humans? He already had sinful angels. I know, yeah. If you trace back to the Watchers in the what was the book they tried to keep? Oh, the Book of Enoch, the Enochian or Enochian. He had a language. It was a written language that angels understood. And you know what? Enoch became Metatron. If you ever studied Metatron, he's not a transformer. He's an actual angel. Enoch became Metatron, which is one of the higher angels. And I heard that Moses, or they call him Moshe in Hebrew, um, he became an angel also. So I guess this is where we begin. I guess this is school, and also they say you can transcend death. Uh, like Enoch, he never saw death, and Elijah, he didn't see death. He was taken up in the chariot of fire. Why did he create the tree, knowing that he eat from the tree of? But then again, is it a literal tree? You know, because um, metaphorically, you know, a lot of times they speak in code and metaphors, and because they want to hide things from the Romans were just murdering Christians, so um, they would write letters to each other, and they wouldn't just say what they wanted to say because they wanted it to be in code. So when they talk about something, it's not the literal. They talk in a code, and it's it's like the each civilization had their own religion, like the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayans, the Egyptians. They were all civilizations, and all these civilizations had their own belief system. Like the Bible talks about the second death. Also, the Egyptians talk about the second death. They say Anubis, first you die, and then Anubis takes your heart out of your chest and weighs it against the feather of truth. And if it's balanced, you go into the field of reeds. or if it's not balanced, you get eaten by this alligator monster. I think it's an alligator or a crocodile. I forget the name of that creature, but they call that the second death. The Christians call the second death the lake of fire and brimstone. And so I guess we're there's two deaths. But then if you're pure in heart, they say you'll see God. That's what Jesus said on the Sermon on the Mount. If you those are pure in heart, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I think if you uh, if you live a righteous life, then you don't see death. I guess death is a punishment. If you go on living, then that means you're doing something right. I believe in God, but I don't understand why He made us like like a human ant from experiment. It could be, because they who was it? Now what did you say? First, the Garden of Eden went wrong. Then Noah's Ark destroyed, yeah, everyone, and this continues. Yeah, and even like Revelations. I used to read the Revelations when I was a teenager, and that was some scary stuff, But then again, it could have been metaphor. It probably didn't mean literal locusts and literal dragons and a woman giving birth and then having the dragon wait for the baby to be born and all that stuff. So some of that might be metaphors or code, because a lot of things are occulted. Occulted means kept secret. So maybe there is a lot that we have to find out on our own. I mean, Buddha, Jesus, um, all these ascended masters, they all talk about seeking out your own salvation. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. You learn by crashing. You learn by flying and crashing. And hopefully you can fly longer than you can crash over time. And I think that's what it is your heart can guide you. When you think of it, Judas was created to do wrong, so he didn't stand a chance. I know, and it's like, was it his greed that led him? Because he wanted 30 pieces of silver. That's what they offered to betray Jesus. And but then when you look at what was the text, it was the Gnostic texts. It tells a different story. It says that Jesus wanted to be liberated from his physical body, because they talk about the demiurge in the Gnostic text. The demiurge is like the false god, and then there's the true God, and we have to just hold on to the true God and not listen to the false god. He destroyed the earth with water because he was angry. He repented. He made man. That's what the Bible says. But then let Noah repopulate. Yeah, because he was selected. Because again, the Watchers reproduced with the daughters of man, and that's how they got these monstrosities. And then God had to destroy the monstrosities so Earth could just be a habitable place. That's written in a lot of texts, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, and a lot of texts talk about the Great Flood and all the evidence there is of the Great Flood. It is interesting, and when you look at, I mean, all these different writings and records of what happened and how it happened, but then they say God doesn't make mistakes. I think what it is that the way men's hearts go, the way the hearts of because God creates and then free will comes into play. It's like a person can pick up a stick and and go on a hike. Another person can pick up a stick and beat the hell out of somebody with it, and it's all their free choosing. And I think that's what it is weeding out the people who make bad choices, the people who do evil, like Cain and Abel. Cain got jealous of Abel and beat him to death, and he thought he could get away with it, and then he was marked by God. I think that's what it is God creates, but then he blesses us with free will, and that's how you really know. You can tell everybody don't steal, but there are those who steal. You can tell everybody don't commit murder, but then people choose to commit murder, and it kind of weeds out those people. And what our judicial system does is protects the criminals. We protect the criminals. Like the case of Ellie Nessler, the case of another guy whose son was compromised by his karate instructor, and the guy shot him. And it's like things take care of themselves, but then they're so afraid of people taking the law into their own hands. That's what happens when you take the law into your own hands. You're minus an offender. And what they want to do is keep these offenders alive all their lives. They want to put them in a cell for the rest of their lives instead of just letting the family handle it. But then again, they call that taking the law into your own hands. But then what happens? Self-defense. I heard about a pizza delivery guy. He was a Domino's pizza delivery guy, and he just showed up to deliver a pizza, and the guy who placed the order pulled a gun, and the delivery guy pulled a gun and shot the guy who was about to rob him, and his girlfriend picked up her boyfriend's gun and shot the delivery guy. And it's like, okay, you just eliminated a robber in self-defense, but then you got to defend yourself from his girlfriend. So, and she's doing life right now, and it's like, how does that help anything? How does that help anybody? Just putting someone in prison for life. Living on Earth as a human is hard enough, but he allowed his fallen angels to come down here to mess it up even more. Yeah, I mean, they say that the fallen angels, or these watchers, they existed, and then mankind was created, and then God made man in charge of the angels, and that really made the fallen angels, mad. So now we have enemies. We have angels that don't like us. But then there are the angels that we can call upon. Like, a lot of them are well known, like Michael the Archangel, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. There's a lot of archangels that we have to invite them, because they say there are a lot of unemployed angels. An angel can't help you unless you ask them to. So we need to ask for help from these angels. Because again, God knows our needs. That's the way it was explained to me in the Bible. God knows our needs before we ask them, but he wants us to ask for our needs to be met. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I won't. Yeah. I like the good ones. Yeah, the good ones. But then again, it's like, okay, it's a battle that was started. A battle between, for our very souls. A lot of people say, it's a battle for our souls. Yeah, good angels. The angels that actually look out for the universe. Because a lot of people, they're not interested in the overall good, to the good of all and according to free will, harm ye none. Do what thou will, harm ye none. You also say God knows what going to come out of our mouth before you speak it. Yeah, because we're already formulating what we're going to speak, but then it happens here on the physical plane. Because when we're thinking, it's happening on the spiritual plane, on the astral plane, and then it manifests here. That's why we have to be careful, like Jesus was saying when you're be careful not to lust after somebody in your heart, because if you do it in your heart, you've done it already. So it's like a preemptive, you can watch what you do before you do it in the physical realm. Also, he knows the words you will be like a game, then to only trust. Yeah, yeah, because we're all created beings, and the decisions we make are only based on our finite minds. Because we only understand what we see, hear, taste, touch, smell. You know, so we don't know what's going to happen. We can make plans. We can, uh, but we can't really. I don't know. We don't have. A lot of us don't have the ability to see things before they happen. We can kind of formulate. Like if I get in this car and I get drunk and I drive, that's going to be bad. We can formulate things which can kind of keep us out of trouble. Like I'm not going to go punch my neighbor or key his car or follow him around. But then there's some people that go ahead and do that. They think it's okay. They don't see the repercussions of what they're doing. Christians tell their kids that masturbating is wrong. You're sinning. Can you imagine how that messing with the mind of a child going through? Yeah, because isn't it funny that religion is so against what's natural? It's natural to see somebody and be attracted to them. It's natural to want what someone else has. But it reminds me of Guns N' Roses. You can have anything you want, but you better not take it from me. In the jungle, welcome to the jungle. And it's kind of good advice, just be careful. Is the juice worth the squeeze? I always told my dad I didn't ask to be born, but now I have to worry about their getting saved. Yeah, or ending up lost. Yeah. I think what it is there has to be a desire for light, and it's our desire for light that guides us to light. So that's what not everybody has a desire for light. A lot of people have a desire to forget everyone else. They have that zero F's attitude, or that zero F's concept. So they don't care who gets in the way. They don't care, as long as they get what they want. They don't care who they hurt in the process. But not everybody's like that. Not everybody has a desire for light and for doing things that benefit everyone. You can, eat, just don't eat too much. You can have, but just you don't need to have more that will make another person not have what they need. Because I see that a lot. There's a lot of people living in trailers, a lot of people living in apartment buildings, while some people have multiple mansions, or they have a mansion. They're living in a really nice house in a really nice neighborhood, and while other people are living in trailers or tents or nothing at all, they made it to where you can't even sleep on a park bench. What they should do is build a lot of park benches, you know, so people can have a place to lay down, a place to sleep, porta potties and park benches. That would help the homeless. But then they need to make it to where a person can get somewhere in life, because some people are working more than just one job, and they can't afford to stay in an apartment. They have an apartment, or they have an apartment, and all they have is a mattress on the floor, and that's their bed. A mattress on the floor, or some kind of a donated couch. I have a desire for this crazy human experience. Yeah, that's what it is. It's an experience. And a lot of people say that. We're just here to have an experience. Because we all wind up dead. I mean, why why struggle so much? As long as you have your next meal, as long as you're not thirsty, as long as you're not in pain, just enjoy the rest of it. Like today when I went to the park, When you think of it, every time they masturbate, that they worry to God that and say they won't sin. I ran into that when I was a kid. They made it so scary, and it's natural. It's even monkeys. Monkeys masturbate, creatures in the wild, creatures in nature, they when they can't find a mate right away, they dogs hump things, you know, it's natural. But then why make it a punish? Why have a punishment attached to it? In the Middle Ages, they had horrible contraptions that they would put people in. But then there's, if it's in moderation, I don't think it's harmful. But it's crazy. They always attack what's natural. It's natural for people to find each other attractive. It's natural to hug each other and make out and all that. I think what it is like they don't want illegitimate children. It used to be the word was bastard. You didn't want to be a bastard. You wanted to have a mom and a dad, and that's the last thing you wanted to be was a bastard. You didn't want to have a child out of wedlock. And this was in the 50s. But now it's like child support, you know. Just have all the sex you want, have all the kids you want. The answer is abortion or child support. But then again, you're forcing somebody to take care of a kid that they didn't want, which I think is horrible. So it's not harmful. I believe it's mind game. It is because that's what weakens us is the low self-esteem. Talk to anybody who's been religious or had a religious family. It lowers your self-esteem. All you're told all the time is that you're a sinner. You're a sinner, and that the fires of hell await you. But then again, they burnt witches. They burnt Christians. They burnt witches. Didn't matter. They burnt anybody that got in their way of their beliefs, imposing your beliefs on another person. Not everybody is the same. Not everyone believes the same, but they're forced to. They're forced to believe what they don't really believe. They just go through the motions. And then they become robots. They just follow commands. Like that click, in the Catholic Church, that click, you stand up and you click to sit down. And then you say your Hail Marys. You say your Our Father who art in heaven. You confess your sins. But then again, what really is a sin? I think a sin is when you snatch somebody's purse. That's a sin. You know, when you lie to someone, that's a sin. When you're compromising someone else's life for your own gain, you know, and I think each person has, some people have no problem with stealing. Some people have no problem with lying. Some people lie just to lie, just for entertainment purposes, not to get money out of anybody, not to, they're pathological liars. And I don't know, I think it's burping and farting and, saying burp or fart. People can get offended for just about anything. And it seems like that's all it is imposing your beliefs on another person. And it's like, as long as they're not harming you, it's. Then you have some say that if they left priest marry them would abuse the boys. It's bullshit. Just because don't become interested in kids. Yeah. And it's like, I think sticking to your own age is a good idea. And then there's people are bothered by age differences. Like somebody's in their 40s, marries somebody in their 30s or 20s. They disregard the fact that they're 18 and older. And I think, I wonder how much of it is jealousy. You know, they 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 oppose age differences, but then again, age differences is a good thing to practice. Like then you wind up marrying kids. Like you hear about some religions, 13. 13 is the age of accountability. Some beliefs are 18 is, here in Georgia, 16 is the age of accountability, or the age of consent. Sorry, the age of consent here in Georgia. But in California, it was 18. You couldn't mess around until you were 18. But then again, you can be the same age as someone. So I guess that lets you off the hook. It's getting hot in here. I don't know. All right. Well, it's Friday night, and I haven't been bothered. Isn't it nice? We've been able to chat for an hour. That full moon live that I did, it wasn't, it just, the chat kept cutting out. Maybe because it was a full moon. It was the super moon. This last moon was called the super moon. Super blue moon. So maybe that was even more powerful than a regular full moon. Well, it is 1 hour and 8 minutes. Well, I'm glad we got all this stuff off our chest. We're able to talk a little bit, candidly, if not openly. Somebody's going to be watching this, I'm sure. Usually I get at least 100 views, 100 or so views. But the full moon one, I only got like 74 views on one of them and less on others. But I guess if I keep this up, it'll get better. People start going to my websites and buying things. And then I won't have to depend on my family for money. It'd be nice to have my own money again. It used to be I just was able to go out and get a job, but now my mom is needing more help lately. Just getting through the day, remembering all of her appointments and getting to all of her appointments. So it's just hard to watch your mom get older. She's not able to do the things she used to be able to do. My mom is lucky because I see a lot of elderly here in my community that are just all by themselves in their apartment. They have a dog, and that's their only company. Some don't have any company either. One of my mom's friends has no company. Well, I don't know if she has a cat. One of them, she's all by herself, but she has her dog. Mom had dogs until I came into the picture. She was a doggy person. It's like, yeah, it's not fun getting old. It's not fun when I'm getting old. I'm already 56 years old. Oh wow, when I hit 60, it's all gonna be it's all gonna be real fun. I guess I just have to get rid of doubts. A lot of doubts plague my mind, like how I'm going to be able to make it. How am I going to not be homeless? Does your government support you for taking care of your parent? In Ireland, they do. I don't think so. You're just. I don't know. You're just on your own here in America. Seems like you're just on your own. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, you get Social Security, but then if you need a relative to take care of you, how does that person work a job and take care of their mother? That's kind of a, a St. Jude situation. Remember St. Jude, who's like the saint of lost causes? I need to start praying to St. Jude. That's what Danny Thomas did. Danny Thomas, he founded St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. He made a deal with St. Jude. He said, if you help me with my career, then I will I will take care of kids who have cancer or something along those lines. So he founded St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Maybe that's what I can do. You know, donate whatever I make from my websites. Donate some to St. Jude's. That's what I was doing for a while. You know, get back into that. That's very unfair. They would support you. Yeah, because it's like that's how. I mean, how else? How else can I take care of my mom? That's why I put up all these websites. If you look at in the description of this video, yeah, you'll see a lot of websites that are all legit. The one I like is Kingdom of Pets. Then there's another one that draws your soulmate, and then one strike fight enders. One strike fight enders. Yeah. So if you want to learn self defense, there's a lot of cool websites, and all I need is for people to go to those websites, and that's what I can do when I start generating revenue from those websites. I need to pray to St. Jude. That's what I need to do. Say, I have a lost cause. I'm trying to take care of my mom, and I don't have a job, and I need to go to the business route. And I'm working the business route, but I need customers to make the business happen. You can't have a business without customers. I found a feather when I went to check the mail. I think it's a hawk feather. It might be a hawk feather. It looks pretty close to a red-tailed hawk feather. They say when you find a feather, that means your angels are with you. When you find a feather, because I went to check the mail and there was a feather. There was this feather here. And I'm pretty sure it's a hawk feather. I could be mistaken. If there's any any zoologists out there that recognize this feather, zoologists. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. For Halloween, I'm going to be a zoologist because I have khaki shorts and a shirt that's like a tan shirt. I can get like some kind of small, like, stuffed animal, or a lizard, a rubber lizard, that I could be a zoologist. Kind of like Jack Hanna and Steve Irwin. All those people who are into, wasn't there was the Kratt brothers. There was another guy who was a zoologist. Would your church support you if you pray to St. Jude? Some say that you should only trust Jesus. So, I think St. Jude is a Catholic saint. Not all churches believe in the saints. There's one Saint Anthony. I've always had really accurate help from Saint Anthony. Whenever I lose something, or whenever my mother loses something, I ask Saint Anthony to help me find it, and it appears. It just materializes. Whatever it was I was looking for. Because I've lost a lot of. My mom and I sometimes misplace or lose something, and I ask for help from Saint Anthony. So why not Saint Jude? I can give Saint Jude a try. Saint Jude. Maybe I could light a candle in his honor. I guess that's what you do when you pray to a saint. Light a candle. Say, Saint Jude, can you help me in this impossible situation? What seems to be a lost cause. I think I'm here for a reason, because I think my mom really needs me right now. And that's where God wants me to be, is right here. Because I couldn't get out of this situation if I tried. I couldn't get out of it. So I guess my mom needs me. Because she has trouble, a lot of trouble. I see her struggle sometimes with just regular things. And helping her is... Evolutionists, I believe in creation, but I see evidence of evolution. So I guess it's pretty much working together. Because like I see creation. How else can anything exist unless it's just created? Like there's intelligent design. I believe that. And I've had interactions with unseen beings, communication, and so yeah, it's no mistake that I'm here, because my brother can't help my mom. My brothers, they're running their families, they're functioning as families. But me, it's like my mom and I are family. We're kind of helping each other, and she doesn't need me right now. Because there's some things that I notice, just in her day-to-day life. Sometimes that she needs guidance, and just keeping her happy and healthy. I think that's what my mission is. That's probably why everything else dried up, because everything else would be a distraction. That could be it. Who knows, God might send somebody to help me, when the time comes. Maybe I'm just supposed to. In this lifetime, I'm supposed to experience end of life, because it seems like all my other lifetimes, death probably came a lot swifter in my previous lifetimes. I'm hoping something good happens, I think what we need is just, there's a lot of people who are standing behind Trump, a lot of people who like what Trump is promising, but I think a lot of people want to see the first female president, and I think that could be how everyone votes. They want to see the first female president. And it's like, because they think that we're a patriarch, or a monarch, sorry, a monarchy. Monarchy is female. Patriarch is male. But then again, London, or England is, King Charles is now the king. You're from Thailand. Well, great. I had some people from India and from Brazil earlier. It's a small, small world. And I think a lot of the feminists, they don't like the male rule. And I think a lot of the voting foundation, a lot of the voting power is from the feminists. So maybe we might see another female president, or the first female president. And then we'll have to see what happens after that. In the land of smiles and pretty girls. Yes, we need pretty. We must have pretty. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. That's how that song went. I remember that back in the 70s. There was a song, everybody's beautiful in their own way. Like Fantasy Island. Remember Fantasy Island with Ricardo Montalban? Smiles, everyone, smiles. So anyway, I pray that our names will be cleared. Our names need to be cleared. That the truth will be told about our true intentions. Wow, it's been an hour and 22 minutes. I noticed lives, the host of the live can see how long the live has been. The people who are watching the live, all they can see is the chat and how many likes there are. Thank you for the 5 likes. We'll have more of these discussions. I want to see how much knowledge I can acquire so that I can share it with you all. I could be like a mother bird, coming back to her nest, sharing knowledge. I can fly away from the nest and come back to feed you knowledge. And then you can feed me knowledge. We can get through life. I think life is just a miracle. If I really look at life, it's all just a miracle. It's a miracle that we get home, when we hop in our cars and head home. I see so many accidents, so many people just going through life. And it's just a miracle that we have what we need, that we're not hungry or in pain or thirsty or sleeping out when it's 32 degrees or less. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. And that's the temperature water freezes, is at 0 degrees Celsius. I need to spend time in Canada so I can learn the metric system. Everywhere else uses the metric system. We're just so hard-headed. It would be nice if everyone just jumped on board. Everyone needs to just jump on board with the metric system. But then again, it challenges your math skills. Like a yard versus a kilometer, or a meter, a yard, and a kilometer, and a foot. A meter is just a little more than a yard. So then you have to do math in your head to figure out how many meters. But then some rifles. Yep, that might be the case. We'll have to see what happens. But then again, the pendulum swings the other way. Hello! My other friend from India. Shobha. That's right, you got to do it 5 times. 5 times the Om. 5 times the Om. So, Shobha. Thank you for joining. I guess we could talk a little bit more. I wonder what time it is. Oh, it's 11:40. Wow. And I forgot to plug in. I forgot to plug in my phone. Usually when I'm sitting here talking, my phone is charging. There we go. Now it's charging. That's probably why there's a little delay. Whenever there's a delay, like right now, here we go. I think we're back to kind of normal. Yeah, I got the McDonald's Wi-Fi. Even Taco Bell, a lot of places have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Yep, I've got the McDonald's. So it's 11:41. I think it's time for me to go to bed. Even though I don't have much going on tomorrow. We already did our grocery shopping, which is good. Tomorrow, maybe we're going to cook biscuits. Mommy will cook biscuits tomorrow. So we could have sausage biscuits for breakfast. That sounds good. So I pray for this guy that he'll just quit doing what he's doing. Oh, it's 9 a.m. over there? Good for you. Good for you, 9 a.m. So I guess I can end this with some jaw harp. We got 5 people watching. No interruptions. I think I'll do this again tomorrow. Now that everything is, all the smoke is cleared. And the dust has settled. I could come back and do another live. I'll do it in the UK time zone. I guess I will get, yes, 9 a.m. is here. Thank you all for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. I'll give a chance to say hello or to say goodbye. Hopefully this guy will leave me alone. This person. Apparently a girl testified against Trump. She said she was only 14. She asked him to use a, his reply was, Island isn't charged. I know. I guess we'll just have to, what I've noticed is justice is very slow. And, because people want swift justice. But it's like, God help us all. Because it's like, it's a crazy world and we have to live in it. So, all we can have is hope lately. Hang on to hope. Faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love is a good mixture. I know it's troubling. It's troubling news. No matter how far you're past, people don't forget. It's funny how people only come out when somebody is going somewhere in life. When someone's going somewhere in life, that's when they seem to suddenly remember everything wrong somebody did. They never talk about it when it happens. Like Clinton. Remember Clinton? You know, he always had people who had accusations or things that they suddenly remember. Everything is a dead issue until somebody starts to rise to the top or get somewhere in life. And it's like some of these things need to be settled earlier. I don't know. That's why we should report things when they happen. Report things when they happen. But then, there but for the grace of God, if everybody were to report everything everybody did, there would be a lot of changes in the world. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? I'm doing okay. Monkey CJ. We're about to close this. I've been at this for almost 2 hours. It's been an hour and 31 minutes. So all we can do is pray and hope. Because a lot of it's for Trump was found guilty on all counts to do with in office, and he walked away free. People are afraid to speak out against powerful men. Yeah, because they will cover it up. And it seems like that's the only way. I mean, how many of us are completely clean? How many of us? If you were to research everybody, you could probably find a lot of things that people would rather forget or hope to forget. I don't know. How do any of us make it? How do any of us make it? It's like, for the grace of God. Everybody we think is upstanding. Everybody we think is all right, pure in heart, pure in mind. You could look back in their past, and somebody will always have something that they remember that they did that wasn't so nice. I think that's what it is. It's the illusion. The illusion of, we're presented with an illusion that everybody's okay. Big difference. Eddie, he had power. Yeah, abuse of power. I've experienced that in the workplace, abuse of power. Yeah. You know, like a lot of people, they have certain favors. Like Danny Masterson, you know, if you follow his case, a lot of people, they have certain powers and they abuse those powers. I don't know. It's kind of like absolute power corrupts absolutely. I've noticed that too. And it's like, how do you win? How do we come out ahead as a country? It seems like, yeah, I mean, you look at the past few presidents we've had, but then again, you know, I don't know. It's beyond me. Politics makes for strange bedfellows. Politics is, you should read Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx had a lot of funny quotes about politics. A lot of funny quotes about politics. Everybody wants justice until it's them. Until it's they who did something wrong. Everybody wants somebody to burn in hell or hang from the highest tree until it's them that did something wrong. That's what I've noticed. They cry and they plead for mercy when they're the ones who did something wrong. But when somebody else does something wrong, they just want to draw and quarter, hang them from the highest tree. As much justice as the law will allow. And all of us, we just need to hope. Or what hope is there? Because some people spend time in prison and they didn't commit a crime. I keep hearing about that. This one guy spent like 16 years in prison. And then when he was let out, he died. It's like, and then you have people like Charles Manson. Remember Charles Manson? He said that he shouldn't be let out. He felt that he shouldn't be let out, but they let him out, and he committed those Sharon Tate, yeah, those murders. It's just crazy how innocent people go to prison and then not so innocent people get let out. When it was going on, he was given keys to the city. He was, yeah, I know. Child care also, a lot of people who are uh, molesting kids are in child care or pediatrics, pediatricians, people who are in child care, or people who are supposed to be watching the kids. There was one guy who was he was a doctor for gymnasts. I forget his name. He was tried and convicted. Yep, a lot of. And then there are people who are innocent who get accused. That's what troubles me is the people who spend years in prison because someone lied or because someone misidentified. Sometimes it's like um, DNA evidence is what gets them freed, gets them off. Name a car for an edit. I keep saying Lamborghini or Lambo. So I've been asked that question before. Name a car for an edit. Do I get paid? Do I get paid for mentioning a Lamborghini? Or does somebody just take my face and my likeness and edit it and say, this guy mentioned the Lamborghini? Well, it was fun talking to you. It gives me a lot to think about, a lot to pray about. And I hope you all have a peaceful sleep. I hope I have a peaceful sleep. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow, if I have enough energy to do this and to keep doing it, maybe I'll get paid to do it. They say if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. If you like what you do, and I kind of like talking to you all, reading all your paragraphs, finding out how you feel about things. I think this country needs prayer. This country, all of our countries, seem to be having difficulties. Hopefully we'll make it through another year. We'll make it through this year. We're already almost 9 months into this year, 2024. And then we're going to probably have a new president, a new person sworn in to protect and defend the Constitution, what's left of it. All right. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow.